Now, because the script packager is one of the very few options in the admin script editor that are not available in the trial, I want to go into it in some depth. So here we just have a simple batch file that when run just says hello. And we want this to stop, so I'm going to put a pause in. And for the script packager, the minimum default settings are automatically filled in for you. So we can go ahead right now, hit create exe. We see the flashy down there on the bottom telling us that that is now complete. And there it is, right alongside the script itself. And when we run it, it pops up as we expect. Close it, returns. And there's a few options here. We'll start from the top. The process, in this case for batch file, will be cmd.exe, and the default will always be filled in for you. So if you're doing Kickstart or VBScript or PowerShell, it's going to be handled for you as far as what process needs to be entered there. For arguments, these are arguments that would be passed to cmd.exe. So /c says close the console window once the script's complete. Alternatively, we could do /k, which would mean keep that console window open after the script is complete. Extract to, you want to specify a directory here that a user is always going to have access to. So the most safe location is the user's temp directory, because they should always have access to right there. You could specify something else if you like, but we recommend keeping it as temp. The destination will be where you want your executable to be placed once it's created, and by default that'll be right alongside the script itself, as you saw just a moment ago. And then another option that the admin script editor has exclusively is this ability to use console mode, which means that if the packaged script is being run from within a console window, it will not spawn a new window in order to show its contents. It'll use the existing console window, which is good if you want to do something like a command line utility. Now, I won't show these right now, but the default icon would be the icon for the executable itself that's created. You can have it also show this icon in the system tray or notification area during execution. And if you choose to do that, you can also have a tooltip for that icon in the notification area to say something along the lines of script now executing, or something to alert your users that the script is running if you choose. And of course you can browse to your own ICO icon file in order to customize the look of that. So let's go ahead and run this as it is now. I'll create it again, and this time when we run it, the output is in the existing command window. So that can be very handy. The next thing I'd like to demonstrate is the ability to run with alternate credentials. This VB script will show some custom environment variables that we inject into package scripts that help get around some of the issues that you would run into. When you say use alternate credentials, it enables this area, which allows you to select the additional security details, such as up top we have selected by default EFS and NTFS security. What this means is in the directory where the packaged contents are placed temporarily during the script's execution, that folder is protected with EFS security and with NTFS file security, so that the executing user does not have permission to the files. If you were to use a local account, you check this box, and then by default we have abort on failed checked, and that should remain checked. Unchecked, if the package were to for some reason have problems applying security, it would continue and run in an unsecure fashion. So we'll give it a username. In this case I have a test account named admin, the password, and a domain. Now I'm going to check this box to automatically run the script after this file is created. Successfully created it, and there is our script executing. So as you can see, because I'm running with alternate credentials, the actual username, if you were to look at the username environment variable, is admin. That also means that any references to the local profile or the current user registry hive is going to also point to this admin account, which probably isn't the one you want. Now, other vendors that have provided similar functionality trying to copy this have not gone the extra step and provided these environment variables. So what you can see is actually happening is we have an ACE user ID environment variable, and that provides to you the domain and the username of the person running the executable package. There's also this HKey current user registry path, and this variable points to the executing user SID, which equates to HKey current user for the person running the package and not that of the alternate user as you would get otherwise. And then the current directory is ctemp scripts. That's where the executable is being run from. But keep in mind, I said that the package contents would actually be extracted temporarily into a subfolder of temp, because that's what we gave it, and then cleaned up after the fact. So if we were to reference current directory, it would really be that subfolder of temp, which is why we've offered the ACE path environment variable. There's also this ACE exe args, and what that would do is provide any additional parameters passed to the executable. So if I said var demo.exe dash question mark, I would get back dash question mark there, and I could handle that in my script however I wish. Now, because the script is running and I haven't closed it, those temporary files still exist. So if I go into the temp folder, I can see here this directory is the directory where the package script has placed itself. Now it does so in a randomly named folder so that you can run multiple packaged executables at the same time, another thing competitors don't provide. And so scripts is actually where the script file and any additional files that you've chosen to include in the package would be temporarily placed. I cannot access it because it is protected from me. It has EFS encryption, which is why it's colored green, and there's also NTFS file security against me. I would have to be an EFS authority to remove that restriction, and then I would further have to take ownership with an administrative account in order to get NTFS file access. So it's about as protected as it could be, still running on the system. Just to quickly take you through the rest of what is possible, there's the additional files. You can add additional files to your package, like command line utilities or COM objects. And then if you have a COM object, you can check automatically register the file. And what will happen is it will register the file during the execution of the script and then unregister it before it cleans it up. So your system is still clean. Now, if there is an older version on the system, it will register it and then re-register with the old version that was there previously automatically. And if there is a newer version on the system, it will not register the COM object automatically. Now, of course, you could handle this all in your own script, but we provided the logic here to make it easy. If you had a DLL or a COM object that you wanted to have registered regardless of if there was a newer version already on the system, you could check this box here to force registration of all COM components. And finally, there's this exe version info where you can assign all of the file version information for the executable. And that really is all there is to it. And if you'd like to see a package script in action, a handful of the script wizards are actually written with the ScriptPackager. They're created using Kix forms, which you could use the Kix forms designer for, and then packaged with ScriptPackager. In fact, this information down here describing the wizard is being read from the file version information. The registry wizard is a good example. If you haven't used this before, it's very handy for saving you the task of opening regedit and then right-clicking and copying the path to make sure you have a path to a directory correctly. Now you can just say get value, and it gets you the information you want. Or you can add a value, edit an existing value, delete a value. It'll actually remove it from within the wizard, but it doesn't actually affect your real registry. It's just generating code and replicating what that looks like here in the wizard. And we can insert the code and exit, and then we just saved ourselves from having to copy and paste those paths. So just another handy wizard, but also a good example of what you can do with the script packager.